What is going on? Yes, it is a double upload day, and today we are back for another video, and as you can see the title of the video, the question is, could Rush Week be a bigger game mode? And I wanted to give this idea that I have been, like, in the words of wrestling, like fantasy booking, or fantasy of an idea of some sort. So the question is, could Rush Week be a bigger mode? And the answer to that is yes, under the right circumstances and the right tools, and would it make sense? So my idea of that being a bigger mode would be my idea of them adding like a single player story. And you may be thinking, like, what do you mean by a single player story? Well, I think it would be fitting for them to tell stories with certain characters. Like, Johnny's the main center focus of this game mode, and I'm sure he's not limited to the IPs. Now, he was supposed to be in the first TCM film, but I guess it was like a sketch. But I guess they ultimately just scrapped him from that, and now he's turned into this bigger character. And now they're using that type of tool and that mobility to use him more and more now, and build him, and that right now they're building him up to be like the next one, or like potentially the next horror icon. And you know, Johnny's been a controversial character in the main mode for like since 18 months since the game launched, and now we're in 2025. We are in this time frame where, you know, Rush Week is still getting updated. It actually has a lot more polish. And he's been getting buffed relentlessly in this mode, and they updated him yesterday and he got a buff. So right now I figured I'd make this video because the idea of having him be even bigger would honestly make sense, considering how the dev stream, the last one they did, where they were like super excited to talk about Rush Week, and they was like, oh, they're like, oh, we're so excited, everybody loves Rush Week, da 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 da, you know, the gist of it. It was more of that incentive, like, okay, what's really next after February, considering they're right around the corner for February. It's like 2 or 3 days from now, it's gonna be February, and I'm sure they're gonna wrap up whatever they have left in the content pass. And my idea of them adding like a story mode to this game mode is because they can honestly tell a lot of stories. Like, what happens to Johnny during this time? Like, for instance, what does he do after the first movie? Or I guess if it makes sense, because I think it was Sydney that said, oh, this game mode takes place after the first event. So can you guys imagine a story mode with Johnny's voice actor, and we're actually witnessing like in-game cutscenes of like what he's been doing, and you're doing like these fun missions, and you're unlocking like outfits or something for the sorority girls, or Johnny himself with the system that they could potentially add. Like, imagine that. The actor's name is Damien. I forgot his last name, but it's like Damien M, I believe. And that guy's talent for Johnny is just beyond everything. He's a really cool fucking dude. And I would love to know his idea of that, if a potential story mode with Johnny would be interesting, or perhaps any interest of his would be cool. And not just Johnny, you know, you can specifically tell stories for Sissy, for Nancy, for Hands, for Bones, and then Meadow coming soon. You know, I definitely think telling like fun stories of like how Johnny met Hands and what type of adventures did they have together. What like specific stories with like Nancy and Johnny's relationship, like what's the result of Nancy's death, like, because they did hint at it that like Johnny killed Nancy. So like, can you imagine that dynamic of him killing her and then traveling across the world and going on this killing spree of some sort? Like, what would Han's story be? Like, how is he related to them, and how is he so like that type of backstory of like who he is as a person and why he doesn't talk? You know, it says he's a distant cousin to the family, so it'd be interesting to know like more of his character dynamic and how he's built up to be like such a huge guy. He's bigger than Leatherface, for Christ's sake. Imagine a story mode with that. Imagine a story mode with Sissy. imagine a story mode with Sissy where, you know, you see her, you know, because since she wasn't in the first movie, I'm guessing in the in-game, maybe she was there, and then she left, and then she came back, because she went away to California to join a cult. So imagine, like, you're playing through that story of Sissy, like, you know, joining that cult and then coming back. You know, something like that of the sort. Imagine Sissy and Johnny, like, reuniting with, like, the family of Bubba or something like that. I don't know if they could do that, but, like, like a story mode with that type of, like, backstory of these characters. Something like that would give them an incentive to tell something interesting. You know, I'm sure they could, you know, tell a story with, like, Bones of, like, what's his backstory, how is he related to the family, and where does he come in the storyline. Now, I know Bill Moseley plays Bones and he plays Chop Top. I mean, they can't use that, but if they can honestly tell, like, interesting story arcs with this character, and with all these interesting non-licensed characters, because they can't use Click, Bubba, and Hitch in this mode, because they're licensed. I'm sure they can't really do much, considering that I think Cook dies in the second film, and Hitchhiker's already dead from the first film, and I think Bubba's also dead, if I'm not mistaken. It's a brain fart. I forgot. But I just think that Rush Week could be a bigger game mode, because right now, in the files, there is a leaked map that has been discussed that I have seen, and it looks like a hotel-themed map, which I guess makes sense in that timeline, because, you know, sometimes girls will stay at hotels if they want to go to a spa or something and do whatever they want for that. So it'd be interesting to see, like, what type of stories you're able to tell, because they can honestly expand more on the lore if they want to, and they can honestly obviously expand more on the characters' personalities and themselves. And I'm sure the voice actors who play these characters and for the main game, you know, I definitely think they could really fucking nail, like, the aspect of these characters and do, like, cool, like, fighting scenes and, you know, cinematic scenes as well. And, you know, the voice acting that Damien does for Johnny, you know, he does a great job. He definitely would fucking nail it in a single player game. And obviously it would be interesting to see, like, team ups with, like, Hands and Johnny, and, like, Sissy and Johnny, or Hands and Sissy, you know, and Bones and Meadow and all these other different original characters that could potentially tell some interesting arcs about them, what happens to them in the end, like, where do they go, you know, something of that sort that would give the player base, you know, some interesting arcs to tell. I definitely do think that if they ever wanted to do that, because, you know, Johnny's still in the main game mode, and I've been seeing this discussion of a topic related to him, and, you know, he's been a controversial character. I think it would make the most sense for Johnny to pretty much just be removed out the main mode, because a lot of people just don't like this character, and the fact that he has his own game mode, he should honestly be a Rush Week exclusive, because he's actually a lot more powerful in this mode compared to the main mode, I would say, because, like, with the tracking ability, you actually see the auras of the victim that you're chasing after, so that's kind of interesting. The doors break instantly on him when you level him up. So the main, like, point I'm saying is there should be an incentive to play this game mode, or if they do a story mode, there should be an incentive to unlock, like, the outfits for Johnny and outfits for the sorority girls, if they ever make character names for them. I don't know if they ever will do that, but it would be something interesting to expand more on the characters themselves, because they're no named characters with no perks and no attributes. So it's like, what if you gave these characters like backstories and you tell something interesting, because you can honestly tell so much about these characters and give them, like, this life that no one has ever seen. Because, like, this mode, like, right now isn't really played too much, but when I actually, like, was playing this mode just to get footage, like, the lobbies were, like, really quick, and it's a lot better than the actual main mode itself, and that says something about, you know, the characters and the lobby system in the main mode just being absolutely terrible. So my idea for how they can make this mode bigger or whatever if they wanted to, because it just seems likely that that will be the main focus, considering they have the content pass for next month and they're gonna wrap up whatever they have left. And if we do get a phase 2, I'm curious to what the hell they're going to add, because unless it's more Leatherface outfits and less Cook and Hitchhiker outfits, you know, I'm sure people are probably gonna be like, oh yeah, cool outfit. But who's going to care is the main question, because it's like, if you continue to add characters and family members and whatever, and we're not going to get a level cap increase, and we're just going to be stuck at level 99, and you keep adding characters and we have no skill points left to spend on, how are we going to gain more? That's the biggest question that, you know, people have been wondering, like, what's going to happen with that. So honestly, I definitely just think it's time that they just come out and say, listen, we can't add any more stuff to the game, unfortunately. We are just going to simply add Rush Week stuff and focus on that, and build that game mode up to be bigger. And I definitely think at this point they might as well just say so. I definitely do think that they can do it, and it does make the most sense. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people may not like the game mode because it may be fun for like a day or so, but just imagine they add a story mode for all the non-licensed characters, and they tell compelling stories, and they actually like give the players an incentive to actually play it. Like, if you want it, it's an option if you want to play Johnny's storyline. It's optional if you want to play a Hans storyline with Sissy, or Sissy storyline, or Nancy storyline, Bones, whoever. I definitely do think it would be fun to expand more of those characters and where they end up, if they end up alive or dead, you know. I don't know. I just been thinking about this idea for the longest time, and I kind of wanted to know what you guys think of it. If you guys want to let me know down in the comment section below, how would you guys feel about Rush Week being a bigger game mode and adding a potential single-player story with these characters and telling compelling arcs for them, and giving the players more of an incentive to actually play it, because you get no rewards from it. You're just on the same loop every single time you play it. So I'm being actually kind of curious to see like what type of like style you could add to it. I definitely think you could add a lot more to it and give the players more of an incentive, but at the same time it's like, who's really going to care? But that's pretty much going to do it. At the end of the day, I definitely do think they should give it a chance, and the actors that voice like Johnny and all of them definitely can kill it. But let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, and sub, and I'll catch you guys later. Stay groovy.